Hello everyone. So yeah, that's my potato patch, and this is the best crop of potatoes I think I've ever grown, so I'm really pleased with this. And this area was chicken fencing area here. I had a few hens in here, and then I moved the pen, and then it just got all overgrown, and I left it. And well, last year I put down this fabric to block the weeds because it was just a massive nettle patch. Obviously there was a lot of nitrogen in the soil after the chickens had been here for a couple of seasons, and yes, then I just dug it over, so it is a dug patch, this one, and layered on the compost, and here we have a beautiful potato crop. And the borage as well has just come up, and they just grow so fast. It's amazing. The blue flowers are just like so luminous. They're just really pretty when you get close. Then is my lettuce patch. I put my lettuce in this spot every year. So I just bring more soil in, and lettuce don't need a huge amount of really, really fertile soil, so they'll grow in the same patch every year. Yes, so we've got salad here. This is the cut and come again salad here, and spring onions along the edge, edged with spring onions, and these lovely heart lettuce, the Rossos. So I'm again picking these as cut and come again, so it's all looking quite dry actually. I haven't watered for a while. Here we have, these are radish flowers, and these are the chards. There's a mix of colours here, reds, yellows, and there's a plain one. So yeah, there's a few. There's enough for us. This is the turnips. Finally, I did get some turnips. I actually pulled one from here the other day, a little one, and ate it. Whoa, it was really tasty. They're purple-topped ones. This is Texel greens. These are really tasty, actually. They're sort of like a garlicky flavour. So, yeah, that's the Texel green. Yeah, they're quite sort of spicy, but tasty. It's a kale. It's a type of kale. It's called an Ethiopian kale or something. And I really quite like it. It's good. Here is my carrot cage, and this was the third sowing of carrots, and I did 3 rows. So a line there, a line in the middle, and a line there, and there were 3 different types, I think, and only the middle type, which I think was new seed. The others were old seed, and there's only like 1 of each, and so it definitely wasn't birds pecking them out or anything else, because they just didn't grow. The seeds just haven't grown. Spoke too soon about the pigs being in. They were in, but that was Hope barking, and she's just seeing a pig off. Are you telling me the pigs are out? Well, there's a pig out. Okay, well, we'll go and put the pig back in a minute. So yeah, I have carrots here as well. Not many, just a few carrots. And this is a volunteer tomato that's popped up. I don't think it's gonna be a long time before that sprouts, but these are the like little cherry tomatoes. So eventually I should get some fruit off it. It's the only volunteer tomato I've got this year. A few more lettuce, and then this beds are all empty, and I've got some radish here in this bed, just on the end. I wish I planted more. I could have done the whole bed with radish. I do like a bit of radish. So there we go. So yeah, moving on now to the squash. And again, I had a lot of failures this year with the squash because I had old seed, and I planted seed and it didn't sprout, and then I took all the old seed and I threw it into the squash bed, and it all got eaten by mice, and just found all these little cracked seeds everywhere. So that didn't work. So then I tried to seed some more, and eventually I have got a few squash plants for winter squash. And in the end, though, there were so few, and it's getting so late in the season, and at that point actually none of them had sprouted, and I really was thinking that I wasn't going to have any squash at all. So I went out and I bought some squash plants from the garden centre, because I just thought, you know what, why not? So I spent £20 on plants and some seeds for next season and things. Yeah, this is what I came back with. You can see behind me I have a wigwam that I just put that up today. And I'm going to put some more canes around it, but I haven't really got many beans that actually sprouted. But I'm doing my beans on a wigwam this year. Last year I spent a lot of time building a bean structure, and I did it really thoroughly and tied it all in with bits of wire and things so that it was really secure. And along came a massive storm and the whole thing was blown over. Well, it didn't completely blow over, but it was at an angle. So this year I thought, all right, I'm doing a wigwam, because a wigwam is a bit more stable and hopefully it won't blow over this time. Yeah, this bed is coming along. I've got a couple more squash to plant in here. I think there's room. I think I can squeeze a couple more in. 2-year rotted compost, and I'm going to put more of that on here. It needs a weed actually as well. I've got to weed it. So behind me, behind where I was standing, is my other bed. So if I just get long ways, it sort of gets it into perspective really. So yeah, over there is the wigwam and the squash bed, and this is my front bed, and I have along here summer squash, and they all did really well because I had new seed of summer squash. A little tomato there at the front. All of this, I've just weeded this out today, this bed, and this whole section, this is all borage here, and it was absolutely just everywhere. I've just had to throw loads of it away. I just had to pull it out because it was just, it was going to be a forest of borage, and I just don't need that much borage. They grow into quite big plants, and they've still got plenty of time to grow. So I've got borage at the front for the bees of the bed, and they are, great then for the insects and pollinators. And then normally I've put my summer squash in these two beds in the middle, but they're all kind of in as one big bed at the moment. But this was 3 beds, but I've given up on doing 3 beds. I've just decided to do one big bed. So here, yeah, we've got summer squash. This is a patty pan. I think they're all patty pans actually. This is going to be a sort of a cream patty pan, but currently it's green. This is a yellow, and oh, there's a bit of cardboard there. Put that away. And then I've got a gap because I had a squash that didn't make it. And I've got some kale in here. It's been a little bit munched, but it seems to be just about surviving. Don't know how long it's going to last, we'll have to see. And cabbage. And yeah, so in this cage here are cabbages. I've planted these recently this week, and these were planted the week before. And look how much they've grown in 1 week. As soon as they've gone into the ground, they've just gone poof. And these are like a greyhound, I think. They're winter cabbage. so there'll be autumn cabbage actually, so that'll be nice. But yeah, starting them off in cages is working in this setup when they're small, giving them a chance to get going, and then I seem to be doing all right with them. And here today I've just put in some beetroots, and again I'm trying to use up seed. I've got a lot of old seeds, and I hate throwing things away, so I've just been using up packets of seeds and chucking loads of seeds in, and sort of getting very little out. But I have managed to get a few beetroot. So it's like a handful of beetroot. I'll have about 5 beetroot or something. But hey, that's all right. We're going to have a lot of cabbage. And we're going to have a lot of patty pan squash soon as well. These are beginning to go. This is another cream one. And this is another sunset yellow. So we've got 3 yellows and 2 cream coloured squash. So yeah, I had issues with the otter eating all the chickens. And it's also had piglets as well. I've got a litter of piglets at the moment, and we've already had one that has been eaten by an otter. And I'm telling you, it's horrific. The poor little baby hasn't got any meat on it at all, and no muscle. So all the baby has, and what the otter did, and it's an otter, this could be anything else. There's a waterway right behind. Now it may well have been that this particular little baby pig was a bit sickly anyway, and it was sort of out on its own. So it wasn't being protected by the mother, because the mother pig would protect its babies. So maybe that is why it got picked off by a predator, because the others, I'm checking them every day, and there's nothing I can do to stop this otter. They are protected, and I love otters. I'm not going to kill the otter. But anyway, so I found this baby piglet, and it had 3 holes in its stomach, tiny little holes where it had been eaten. And the otter, if you're squeamish, cover your ears at the moment, like put your fingers in your ears or something, because this is really gross. This is like brutal. It's brutal. So there's 3 holes in its stomach, and the otter has sucked out all the insides. It's just the creek dead piglet is just all floppy, with the insides of its stomach and its intestines and its liver and kidneys and all its vital organs have just been completely sucked out. And also, the otter had eaten its eyes. Nothing else. So that's pretty grim, really, isn't it? That's really brutal. They are really, ferocious. And, I'd never seen anything like it before. It's nothing like how a fox would kill or anything. And this was the same thing that was happening with my chickens. It was just, unprecedented. I just couldn't work out what was killing my chickens for a really long time. And I kept buying more chickens. And, and I had camera up, and I could see the fox coming, and he was ignoring them because the electric line was keeping the fox out, but it wasn't keeping the otter out. So, I had to sort of let go, really. I want to have chickens again, because my father was an egg farmer. I grew up on an egg farm. I graded I graded eggs every day of my childhood. And, I know what I'm doing with the good eggs, so I can do a good egg. I'm a good egg, And so I'd love to do eggs again, and I will do eggs again. Now, I'm going to show you these little babies, but I've got to be quiet, okay? Because I'm now in the chicken outside. I'm now in the pig pen. Okay, so here we go. This is the first viewing of these piglets. Oh, she's getting up. Okay. Look, baby piggies. Hello, bright eyes. Oh. Yeah, little healthy litter. Yeah. a good girl. You're such a good girl. I'll try and get in closer. If we can. There we are. Look, they're hiding now. They're hiding behind Mummy. Oh, look. There. She's making their bed. Just starting to eat now. So they're a week old today. Hello, Mama Pig. Yeah. Hello. We've had a big feed today. Here's Sweet Pea. See, Sweet Pea's the waddler. She's like a teapot. But she has been vet checked, and she's absolutely fine. She's just part pygmy, and some pygmy goats go like that. So she's just like a bloater, and she's really greedy. So yeah, she looks like a teapot. If you look at her, she's very fat. You're a waddler, aren't you, darling? You waddle around. Look how fat you are. Anyway, I've been told that she's okay. She's healthy. She can still jump really high, amazingly. Okay. So yeah, here's the out pig. So that's one of my large sows. This is Beatrice. And this, I believe, is Florence. Oh look, here we go, we've got all 5. They're all coming now. Okay, so let's feed these pigs. So I've got my bucket of feed in here and my trolley, and I'm just going to wheel my trolley over to the pigs. Try not to bump into things on the way. On a stony track. Anyway, there is some wild ducks, and there's 2 females and some fledglings, goslings, I don't know what they're called, baby ducklings. And they've survived, amazingly. They started off closer to the farm, but they've moved into these reeds over here, where there's quite a lot of water as well. And I think that they are safe from the otter there, actually. And so what has been happening is when I come out and feed my pigs, if I'm very quiet, wait a little while, the ducks will come out as well, because they like barley. Right, so I'm going to be accosted by goats and pigs here. This is not good. And Hope isn't coming to help. Reason being that she got bitten by the electric fence yesterday. Twice, actually, in the last couple of days. 2 days in a row, and she's nowhere to be seen. So she's not doing her job anymore. She's on strike. Right. Gotta be careful. That's a bossy goat. Okay. So, let's feed them. Okay, so the pig is following me. It's just behind me here. There she is. Oh, there she is. Can you see her? Off she goes. She's there in front. Come on, pig. Come on, let's go, darling. That's it. Come on. Here we go, pig. Good girl, keep moving. There we are. You know the way, really. I'll get you through the gate. Okay, so I managed to get the wire back up, but I'm not actually convinced that this line of fence, all the way that way from this gate, is hot. It's definitely hot all the way to this fence, this end of the gate. And I know the line is hot there, but I'm not sure that is hot, and I need to test it and find out. And basically, there's this wire here is cable to go, insulated electric cable to go along the gateway so that we can get in and out the gate without getting electrocuted, and we don't have to untag it all the time. But actually it's not very good cable, and I'm wondering if, the connection is on, it's well connected, there's, it's not, there's no breakage there, but is it actually hot? I don't know. I don't want to touch the fence and find out. It's golden hour. And there are all the pigs and goats eating happily, side by side. They like each other, really. God, Sweet Pig gives them a hard time. She really does. Sun's setting. This year, I was talking about being flexible on the farm. So, we are diversifying. And this year, I put a bit of a stop onto the campsite. Well, we have been open, but, the season doesn't really start till August. But we've got plans for August. And we're going to... this farm is 32 acres. It's a 32-acre holding. And in the United Kingdom, we have something called permitted development rights for agriculture. And all land that is over 5 hectares is under Class A. And 5 hectares is 12.5 acres. And I have 32. So I have sort of nearly 15, I don't know, about 13, it's about 13 or 14 acres or something, hectares, 13 hectares or something, this land. So well over, it's a big acreage of land. I'm allowed a barn, basically. The council have said I can put up a barn. I've written to the council 3 times last year and said I want to put up my barn under permitted development rights. Could I have the application, please, and apply? And each time I've not received anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a letter by recorded delivery to my local council stating that I've contacted them 3 times asking for the permitted development rights to put up my barn, and that, because I haven't heard anything back, I'm going to consider that that is okay, because they do say if you don't hear anything back after 28 days, you can go ahead. So I'm going to say I'm now going ahead. So basically, I'm informing them all the way. I've got documented emails, and now I'm going to send a recorded delivery letter as well, as a final kind of, this is what I'm doing. So we're going to put the barn over everything, over the shed. So outside here in this area will be a barn. So I will be standing undercover, and we can move most of these things apart from the shed can be moved, so we can move what we want to move. I'm going to sit down Little chair in front of the kennel. And over there, in that, under that green tarp that's been sitting there, that's been there for 3 years or more. And under there is a beautiful wood-burning range, a small range, that was gifted to me out of a farmhouse near here. And they were upgrading, you know, taking out the old style wood stove and modernising their heating system. And they just wanted to give it away because nobody wanted to buy it. And she even gave me the recipe book to go with it. And it was immaculate. I don't know quite what it's going to look like by the time I pull it off, but it should, because it's got 2 tarps on it. And that big tarp is like folded over about 4 or 5 times on the top. So I'm pretty sure that the front, it might be a bit rusty at the back where it's iron, but the enamel front should still be good, and I think it'll still be in good order. But I might have to wire brush it all down at the back and give it a bit of TLC. But hey, you know, there we go. A little bit of a restoration job might need to happen, but it's doable. It has been well protected. So yeah, we're going to have a lovely big wood burning stove inside. Yeah, so west, south, east, southeast. What we're doing here is making a field farm, and that's no easy task. You know, we're off grid, and I bought a large acreage of land, and it was a lot of money. It was all my money, basically. So I really have started all of this on a shoestring, and it's not been easy at all. You know, there's been struggles and hardships to get through, but I am a resilient soul. You know, I've always been the sort of person that likes a challenge, and so yeah, this project, I've absolutely loved it. I mean, you know, through all the trials and the tribulations and the ups and the downs and the struggles, I'm doing it because I want to do it. I'm not a complainer. I'm not complaining about any of it. I walked into this with my eyes open, and I knew it was going to be hard. But I also knew that it would get easier with time. And, you know, you get out of life what you put into it. And I've put my all into this. And this year, finally, I'm now in a position where I can do a bit more. I haven't done any fundraising for anything here. I did do a little bit of fundraising when I first came here. Raised a couple of £100 just to start me off, because I really was brassocks. Just to get a few things to get me going and start bringing a bit of cash in. But other than that, I've done no fundraising, so I'm doing this all funded for myself, though I have had helpers. And I have had generous friends come and stay and share with me and buy my produce and, you know, buy food when they're here and cook meals for us and, you know, look after us. And you know who you are. I know you're watching out there, Raven. So, thank you for that. Thank you for those friends who came and helped. And now we're going to move on to the next stage. And I'm going to have a big, much more roof over my head this winter. And I tell you, the winters in Cornwall are pretty rough, to be honest. You know, we are a tiny peninsula in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and that we get buffeted from the west. We get the westerlies at full force, slamming into the coastline. And even though I'm on the south coast of Cornwall, and the seas aren't quite as rough, I mean, it's not a large landmass, so it whips across here. And yeah, we get pretty battered. by the weather, which is why I don't really vlog in the winter, because it's just too difficult. So I'm going to make these changes and life's going to get better, and there's a few more surprises on the way as well, actually. So that's a big disclosure today about the barn, and we're going to be moving forward with that imminently. But I have other plans as well, but they are for another time, because I'm not going to say anything about anything until I know it's happening. Now, I know I can and do have the money to put up a barn, but it's going to be tight. I hope I'm not boring you to death today, listening to everything. I have waffling on, but you know, I'm here all on my own, so I haven't got anyone to talk to. So thank you, YouTubers. You know, thank you for tuning in. If you've got this far, well done. You must love me. See you next time. Bye. I'm cooking pork and beans. Cooking pork and beans and new potatoes, the first potatoes. I've just picked out a few, so they're really very fresh. And pork from the farm fresh, with little courgettes and spring onions and summer squash, all in there bubbling away. So it's great to be not having to go to the supermarket to buy my food. Woohoo!